I don't think there's an official stream for this thing, dudes. Of course, the dashboard is doing the thing where it doesn't update the title right away, so you got to refresh it. Now I can't see. Now I can't see chat. That's good. There we go. I don't think there's an official stream, Tessa. I think this is just a picture of the rocket on the pad, so I'm not sure how much coverage we're going to get here.
440.
All right. So this is carrying IGS Radar-7. It's a it's an Earth observation satellite.
430, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 26, 24, 23, 24.
Is this an active launch? No, it's a passive one. Yeah, of course, Nick.
17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 14, 12, 11, 410, 409, 408, 408, 407, 408, 409, 410, 411, 412, 413.
NVS is just a guy who goes to the media site and streams the launches. Yeah, that's what I mean.
390.
Hell Hydra, this isn't official, dude. He just has a microphone next to a PA, dude. I don't know if we have permission to restream this.
380. 370.
Huh? You're pretty sure JAXA has an official stream up on their channel. All right. Let's see.
405, 404, 403, 402, 401, 400.
Nope. No, they do not.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
When this sub hits 88 months, you're going to see some serious stuff.
竹崎総合司令塔より打ち上げ関係者に連絡します。打ち上げ時刻が日本時間の午前10時50分21秒に変更されました。繰り返します。打ち上げ時刻が日本時間の午前10時50分21秒に変更されました。
Mitsubishi makes the rocket at Glulik.
350.
これどうすりゃいいんだい？
安全系、衛生系準備完了。
340.
Okay, auto sequencer should be going now.
330.
Has Japan sent any humans to space, or have all their astronauts use things like SpaceX and Roscosmos? NASA, Flykin. NASA is how JAXA gets their astronauts into space.
310, 309, 308, 307, 306, 305, 304, 303, 302, 303.
NASA, SpaceX, Roscosmos, stuff like that, yeah.
打ち上げ5分前です。現在車上の天候は晴れ。
590、89、89、87、87、86、85、84。
No, that's China, Superbot, not Japan. Junbi Kanyo preparations are finished. Today's weather is clear. Thanks, Swall. I don't remember Dish.
現在ロケットの完成は吉野部発射管制塔から
Inside of 3 minutes.
55、54、53、52、51、250、44、45、46、47、48、49、50、51、
Yeah, Tessa, exactly.
47, 46, 45, 45,
2 minutes.
43, 42, 41, 42, 240, 39, 40, 38, 39, 40, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149
Yeah, that voice is just numbers, guys. I knew that squall, yeah. Okay, we should be inside of a minute here in a moment. Ground gas closeout over there. Inside of 1 minute. See all the extra condensation? They closed out the launch pad. We're inside of 1 minute. Nice, Tessa. Thirty seconds. Should have been 30 seconds. Okay, it wasn't 30 seconds. I heard the numbers wrong. 80 seconds. Cirrhosis. Yeah, Hachi. Yeah, it's 8. Well, it was set to go at 8:49, and it's past 8:49. Yeah, I hear it now. I must have been hearing the timeline to an event or something. I don't know. I know she said 30. Yeah. Yeah. Tanagashima Citrel in Japan. You're covering the timer. That's the freaking hard drive space. Up. Sound suppressor. I think. Oh, there we go. There's an ignition. Hey, see ya! Okay, H-IIA liftoff with the IGS Radar-7 Earth observation satellite. There we go. Vehicles pitching. Oh yeah, Slackster, yeah. It's a good track by this dude. Very nice. You got it. You got it. It's quick. H2 goes really fast off the pad. Yeah, I can attest. This is hard to do.
1分が経過しました。ロケットは正常に飛行中。地上局のロケット推理状況も正常です。
80、81、82、83、84、85、86、87、88、89、
90 seconds in. Did I hear that right?
SRBA 伝承終了。
SRB! Oh, oh. So desu ne. There's separation right there. すごい。Very nice. Yeah, it's Hydrolox core. Hydrolox with SRB's motor kit, yep. It's, H2 is derived from Delta 4 technology. Like, it uses spray-on foam insulation, Hydrolox, stuff like that. Not the propulsion. The propulsion's a little bit different. It's not using RS-68s. She has to keep counting until the satellite is decommissioned. I think she ran out of breath. H2's a good rocket. So H3 would be Delta 5 then. No, the SLS is Delta 5. I've told you this. I'll check it in a second, Liam. Yeah, it's a really nice track from this guy. Very good.
3分が経過しました。第1段エンジンの燃焼は正常。制御系、飛行経路ともに正常。ロケットは順調に飛行中です。
Can we get a link for the guy? Yep. Great track. Rocket systems normal, all systems smooth so far. Arigato gozaimasu, Squall-sama. Yep, there's the twin launch pads right there. Yeah, they have two H2 launch pads that are kind of next to each other, and then there's a VAB and stuff. H2 and Delta 4 upper stage have shared heritage, so SLS is H2 derived. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Sugoi launch system. SLS-sama. Hi.
衛星ペアリング分離。
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Dish, that's good. If we're going derivatives, then I might share the fun fact that Ares 1X is shuttle and Energia derived. Checkmate. What? Well, oh, Atlas Avionics. Ah, very nice. The guidance system on Ares 1X uses the RD-180 flight computer that is used on Atlas 5. Oh man, that makes me like Ares 1 even more, dude. Come on, man. Oh, come on. That's bullcrap, Vulcan. I didn't know that, dude. That's cool. The trail looks like one of your early KSP rockets. Nice, Bacon. I got the ultimate derivative tree. Just give me a second to dig it up. This isn't a race. Damn it. Ares 1 should still fly. They should still bring Ares 1 back. I'm not sorry, and I'm not taking it. I'm
打ち上げ後6分が経過しまし
I'm
た。
not gonna apologize.
ロケットは順調に飛行中です。
はい、というわけで、とりあえず目に見える範囲では、異常なく飛行しております。で、ロケットはですね、衛星を分離するところまでがお仕事で、まだ、見えなくなったからといって成功とは限りません。はい、イプシロンロケット6号機のことを忘れてはいけませんね。はい、なので、もしかしたらね、衛星分離まで放送が来るかもしれないので、打ち上げ後20分ちょっと過ぎぐらいまでちょっと、このまま待機してみようと思います。
第1段エンジン燃焼停止。
Engine cut off?
第1段、第2段ロケット分離。第2段エンジン燃焼開始。
All nominal so far, going okay. Nominal trajectory.
あとは2段エンジンの燃焼開始なので、セギ、セカンドエンジンイグニッションまで来ました。メインエンジンカットオフ、セカンドエンジンイグニッションまで来ましたので、もうちょっと、待ってみましょう。で、ですね、打ち上げ2時間後に、記者会見が予定されておりまして、一応これ配信する予定です。はい。なので、ですね、実際打ち上げが、成功したのかどうかっていうところを知りたい方はですね、2時間後に予定されている打ち上げ後会見もぜひご視聴ください。
はい。
ただちょっと衛星分離のアナウンスがあるかもしれないので、ちょっとこのまま待機しようと思います。前回、
打ち上げ後8分が経過しました。ロケットは安定して飛行中です。
ありがとう、スコアル様。
はい。なので、ちょっと片付けをしながらですね、ちょっとこのアナウンスの方を聞き届けたいと思います。あとあれですね、打ち上げ時刻が
I actually believe Mitsubishi's been making rockets longer than they made the Evo. But I could be wrong.
安全区域に船が入った後だと、
Any idea why the H-IIA
そんな1分ぐ
screams?
らいじゃなくてかなりずれると思うんですけど。
Well, this is your fault, man. Wicked gifted a sub to Squall. Thanks, Wicked. That's wicked cool there, bud. Also, nice paint job on the H-3. H-3 is gonna launch soon, from what I understand. Dude, they're transport vehicles for the frickin'... so cool.
この後撤収して、記者会見室で、会見の準備をしなきゃいけないので、ちょっと撤収の準備しつつ、
Could just be the atmospheric
アナウンスの
conditions
様
they're
子を
moto,
出
but
した
I
いと
don't
思い
know,
ます。
dude. Short story, cerebral, yeah. Alright, guys. Well, that was IGS Radar-7 out of Tanegashima in southern Japan. Tanegashima is in, well, it's Tanaga Island. It's south of Kyushu, but north of Iwo Jima. That's where they launch from. And yeah, Radar-7 is a Earth observation satellite. So, yeah, that's why there really wasn't that much of a stream. But we still got to see some pretty cool coverage. February 12th, H322S, first flight of H3. Yeah, it's soon. The next launch from Japan is the H3. Cool. Here are some first sounds from the initial muffler test at Phoenix. IGS uploaded all the LVOS pictures to Flickr. Let me see. Let me see, dudes. All right. Oh, nice. Oh. That's dope. That is pretty dope. Oh, sweet. Look at the hold downs. That's cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's some kind of plate right there. Listen more. Nah, I'm good. Oh, look at that thing. See? Look, it's definitely designed to be jettisoned. Look at that thing. There's going to be a lofted heat shield in the back of one of these things one of these days. Those are foldable work stands! Exclamation point. Lower your voice, for Christ's sake. Jeez. I'm excited, okay? Yeah, I see them now. Yeah. They fold down right there. See the hinges. Cool. Yeah, see, that's your hold down point. Yep. That's your... explosive bolt. It's got a FOD cover on it, fellas. Relax. It's got a FOD cover. Ask Vulcan. He's excited. He knows. it's anything that's red, dude, is FOD cover. It's still, though. Oh, my goodness. All right, what's the next launch? What do we got? Yeah, we got Falcon 9, Block 5, Starlink Group 5-2. That's at 4:22. Falcon. Expected better from you. All right. So, we'll let's design that Cygnus tomorrow. Like 40% of the rocket body is red. Rocket assembly video inside their assembly building. All right, this is for the H-3 now. Oh, hello. With rockets, guys, red makes you go fast, but orange makes you go faster. If you think about it, some of the fastest things have been orange. Aren't you glad? Hey guys, what country does this belong to? It would be Myvec. It's a Mitsubishi, okay? It's Myvec. What if you have a plaid rocket? Well, that would go pretty quick. Yeah, see, orange rockets go the fastest. Orange is the... Whoa. That's freaking cool. You know, they would make this look like some kind of... Yeah, see? Look. See, the... elevated gantry like that, elevated platforms, people walking around on the platform while it's going up, the doors folding and the platforms coming down all automatically. They would do that. They would make that. They would do that. You would, of course. Yeah, it looks like a high bay for a Gundam. They would do that. That makes perfect sense to me. Like, look at that's really freaking cool, man. It's really cool. Look at.
Discovery, go and
Makes
throttle
perfect
up.
sense. That's what they're building the next bay over. Dude, I'd believe it. If they like roll out an H1 and then a Gundam walks out of the other one, I'd be like, all right. All right, that makes sense. You got chilled? Nice. Alright, where's that SpaceX tweet that Liam linked? Oh, baby. Hi. Sugoi. Wait. Wow. Dude. That's almost as tall as an H-2 rocket, guys. Starship by itself. That's unbelievable, dude. Right, Cyan? Yeah, the next version doesn't have a straw back. It has Metal Gear. Yeah. Look at 25 is that, dude. Look at this, 2 of them, guys. What was the flight rate that they wanted to achieve for this year? I think they said like once the orbital flight test gets running, they want to fly the stack like out of the box like once a month or something. Wasn't it something nuts like that? I actually don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was either once a month or once every 3 months or something. They could do a max of 5 super heavy launches per year. So every 3 months sounds more right. But can you believe that? They only have 5 orbital per the FAA document. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That doesn't necessarily mean that once they start flying that we won't see once a month. So could see 5 flights over the next 5 months once the first one goes off, which... Or, well, 4, you know what I mean? Like, so that means, like, if, let's just say, like, this current stack, the OFT-1 stack that they have now, so Booster 7, it's Booster 7 and 24, right? Like, let's say that goes in March. So that means we could see 1 in April, 1 in May, 1 in June, 1 in July. That's crazy. I don't think that's going to happen, but still, the fact that we're even having this conversation, that the fact that there even could be more than 1 Starship launched this year is absurd. That is absurd to me. And you think it's going to go Booster 7, Ship 24, Booster 9, Ship 26, Booster 10, Ship 28? What about 25, Thomas? Oh, they're gonna hold off on 25, aren't they? Because of the tiles, right? And by that time, Florida will be ready and we can bang them off here. Is the 5 limit just for Boca? Precisely. Yeah. Guys, you know what? Let's wind this down with some space news. Let's talk about space. We haven't just sat here and done that in a little while. We'll get the Cygnus stuff done for Kerbal tomorrow. We proved that the arm can work. I think let's finish up the station, get the station done by the end of this week, and then we'll build transfer vehicles. We're going to the moon, dude. We proved the station can work. It's fine. I love just talking about space. Yeah. Wait, we talk about space here? Yeah, so we'll set it to the Space and Rocket Review. Going off previous builds, 25 and 27 would be built as an insurance thing like we saw with 16 and 22. 24 and 25 are the same. 26 and 27 are the same. Got it. Mun, I think you talk about dress. W, I need you to just do me a favor and just take 2 fingers like this and just put them right here and make sure you just hear. Yeah, shuttles are annoying. I'm stopping before I get really mad. Oh, Bucket, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. Okay, all right, Bucket. All right, here. I will draw this for you. Here's the key to understanding how to build a shuttle. And you better, if you didn't send me pictures, I'm freaking gonna be a little disappointed. All right, Hell Hydra, I have that too. All right, here is the key, okay? So, you have a shuttle, right? Your shuttle has the boosters, right? And then you have your 3 main engines, right? And they point down like that, and the boosters point down like that. Right? So, if we looked at that from the side, during liftoff, you have the booster here, right? And then you have the 3 engines like this. So, the booster should be doing about 80% of the work, right? So, your center of thrust is going to be over here somewhere, right? Center of thrust is going to be over here. That means the center of mass is going to be somewhere around here. It'll point through. It's pretty damn close to being, well, it is lined up, but here, check this out. If we look at this, take a look. Let's look at this. Look at this documentary. This documentary is slow motion shuttle views, but I want to show you something. Watch. You see, you have the 3 main engines right here, and the boosters are doing about 80% of the work. And because the 3 main engines are there, the center of thrust isn't perfectly straight. It's a little bit tilted. You know how I know? Watch this picture. Watch. Shuttle going straight up. Is it going that way or is it going that way?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
See, last, you need one up this. Yeah, sure. Your center of thrust is tilted. Owned. Bucket, you see that? What's the shuttle doing? It's going that way. It's going that way because the engines are pushing it that way, but your center of thrust and center of mass are still lined up. Now, you get this far, okay? Now. All right, so what happens? What happens? Here, I'll just draw. We'll just draw kind of a little bit of a shuttle there. All right. It's a very nice external tank. All right, so what happens when, here, let's just draw a happy little tree there. There we go. All right, so what happens when your boosters separate? Think about this. Where's your center of lift or center of thrust going? So as your boosters tail off and thrust, before you think about center of mass, where's your center of thrust? Before you think about center of thrust, where's your center of mass going? Think about this. So as your boosters drain fuel and your external tank drains fuel, your center of mass is which started over here, is gradually going to drift this way. Why is it going to drift that way? Where's the shuttle's center of mass? Shuttle center of mass is right here, right? We know it's about there. It's going to drift that way. Now, during ascent, as your boosters cut off, it'll probably go over here somewhere, right? Because the boosters in the external tank are still a lot of fuel, all right? But what you got to understand, and this is what you got to make this thing do, your center of mass is going to move from here. It's going to probably move somewhere like this, okay? Right? It's probably going to move somewhere to this area here, right to the point where your boosters separate. Now your boosters separate, okay? Actually, a better way to draw it would be something like this. It's going to move down a little ways, and it's going to move over here. Now your boosters separate. You shed an insane amount of dry mass by dumping the boosters off the side, right? So where's your center mass going to go from here? It's going to go that way, right? It's going to go that way. Why? Because you dumped your boosters. Now, you said you get to about 30 kilometers and the thing becomes uncontrollable. All right, that's fine. Your center of thrust has to move with the center of mass. It has to. Or else it'll gradually just try to compensate more, and then you'll spin out of control because your center of thrust is misaligned. What you have to do is take your boosters, and your boosters have to throttle down. Well, your shuttle engine's throttles stay the same. It has to do that. Now, my boosters do that because we put a cal controller on the thrust limiter, and the thrust tails off. That's what the real one does. That's what the real shuttle does. The SRB, the way they pack the grain inside of the SRB is at about 2 minutes and 15 seconds, the SRB thrust takes a dump. It goes down. It's a regressive thrust curve is what it's called. And that has to do with how they physically pack the grain, the SRB fuel, inside of the SRB. And that makes it so by the time staging goes around, right? By the time staging happens, the center of thrust, as the boosters tail off, it gradually moves over to the shuttle engines over here. Okay, hear me out. Right before I dump the boosters, the shuttle freaks out. That's what happens. You have to make it so your boosters throttle down, and they throttle down with your center of mass movement. That's hard to do. It takes a lot of trial and error. Now, your boosters are probably at full blast. They're probably at full blast right until separation. That won't do you any good, because what happens is you're going to separate your booster, your center of mass is going to jump, and your center of thrust will jump with it, and they won't be aligned, and the thing will just freak out. Or you'll get to the point right before your boosters separate, and the SAS or your control systems won't be able to compensate, and you'll freak out. You have to be able to control the booster throttle and the shuttle engine's throttle individually. Now, stubborn, yeah, you got to set this to an independent throttle controller, or set the shuttle engines to like 100%, and then use the throttle. Use your throttle key on the SRBs or your LRBs or whatever to throttle down. If you're using solids, you need to use a cal controller to make your thrust limiter go down at the right time. That's difficult to do. Now, if you get past this phase, stubborn, I'm going to assume that you're going to fix this problem, okay? So you get past this phase, here's the key, all right? This is the most important thing to understand here. When the shuttle is flying, post-booster separation, you have 3 main engines, and you have the huge external tank hanging off the side, right? Got the huge ET over here. Where's the center of mass of the external tank? Your center of mass of the external tank is pretty much right around here, okay? Actually, I'll use a nicer color. It's right in this area here. Now, if we look at a picture of the shuttle's ET, right? The shuttle external tank has this lighter section that has the ridges on it. It's called the inner tank. The center of mass is more of this, the center of mass of the tank is more or less right there. It's right in the center of the inter tank. So if we go over here and we go into my research folder, we go into shuttle stuff. The center of mass of the ET, believe it or not, is right here. It has a heavy LOX tank on purpose. Now, here's where this gets interesting, okay? So the center of mass of the external tank is right there. So where's the center of mass of the external tank when you have 20% fuel left in the ET? Guess what? It doesn't change very much. The reason why is that all that hydrogen is proportional to all that oxygen. Hydrogen just needs to be stored in a bigger tank, right? Because you can't store it at high pressure or else it just leaks. So the hydrogen tank is bigger, and despite it being bigger, right, it's carrying the same proportionate amount of liquid oxygen as in the LOX tank up top. So, after your boosters separate, your center of mass is going to follow a path. And that path is going to go towards the shuttle main engines because that's where the shuttle center of mass is. Okay? If you're really good and you really get this right, the external tank center point right here, your shuttle center of mass, and your shuttle center of mass should, you average those out. You average those out in a line, and that line should line up perfectly with the engines. See that right there? That's the key. Okay? Where are those engines pointing? Look at it. Just look. Where are they pointing? They're pointing right at that spot on the external tank. That's no accident. See what I mean? Everybody asks, oh, where do I angle my shuttle motors? You should angle them at your forward attachment point on your SRB. But my shuttle's bucket has fuel tanks here and fuel tanks here. And my fuel tanks on the tank drain, the bottom tank here drains forward and the top tank drains backwards to keep the tank center of mass in there, to mimic liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. But it always stays the same no matter what fuel load. The center of mass on the tank doesn't change. Just like the real. That's what the real one does. And NASA used differential fuel pressure between commodities to do this. That's why those mains are pointed right at the SRB forward attachment point, because that is the center of mass of that tank. COM of the external tank, empty, full, it's right there. It doesn't change. That's something important to understand. The center of mass of the shuttle isn't exactly on the same line. The COM on the shuttle Aquilex is right here. It's close. But when you take into account the dry mass of that external tank, it moves right here. Remember, it's an average between the external tank's dry mass and the shuttle's dry mass. So, the external tank and the shuttle. Shuttle doesn't have any fuel on it, right? Shuttle has no fuel. I mean, except for the ohms pods, but we're talking about ascent here. So, I mean, you can use the ohms pods for ascent. Sometimes that happens. But it's important to get all that perfectly lined up. And it's important to make sure that when your external tank drains, that your center of mass moves in a linear direction, like this. And that center of mass should always move towards the engines. Now, a lot of people know that the shuttle engines they can twist, they can turn, they can gimbal all over the place. That is not to compensate. That's not there to compensate for the external tank being on the side. The gimbal is there to compensate for differential payload mass. Because if you're carrying, think about it, the shuttle, despite being an asymmetric launch vehicle, can launch with 0 tons inside of the payload bay or 25 tons. That's a huge mass difference. That will move the shuttle's center of mass just slightly. And that'll change your overall approximation between the external tank center of mass and the shuttle center of mass. That line will still be linear, but it will shift this way. That's a gross over exaggeration, but it'll shift. It shifts depending on differential payload mass. So you're moving 10 tons, you're moving 5 tons, you're moving 20 tons, you're moving nothing. Right? That's what the shuttle engine's gimbals are there to do. That's what the thrust vectoring is there to do, to be able to shift the engines in any direction to be able to follow that shifted linear center of mass drain. That's how this works. You won't learn this anywhere else. Okay? Here are your photos. That's just linking me to a channel, dude. Give me the URL of the pictures. See what I'm talking about? So in Kerbal, how I fixed this problem in Kerbal, because we don't have hydrogen. We don't have oxygen. How I fix this problem in Kerbal bucket is I have a fuel tank here, and I have a fuel tank here. This fuel tank drains down, that fuel tank drains up, and believe it or not, in Kerbal's logic, we pump fuel through the bipod strut, which is not how the real shuttle works. The real shuttle has a fuel line that goes back down here, and then it has a hydrogen line that goes back down there. They fill it through the back. Now in Kerbal, my fuel drains bottom here, top there, and then goes back into the shuttle main engines. Stubborn's pictures. All right, let me take a look. So it's important to understand all that alignment there. And the other thing to do is to make sure that you have good control. If you get everything lined up like that, dude, you have to have good control. So you need I put a docking port in the back end of my shuttle that is basically looking at that line. The control point is tilted down so I can fly the shuttle correctly. Because if you're controlling from right here, and your engines are pointed this way, and your center of mass is going that way, right? You're trying to control from here. Pitching up will actually... Pitch up and down will work, but if you try to roll, you try to yaw the engines, if you try to yaw, you're going to roll because your control point's over here and your engines are pointed that way. You usually want the control point pointing in the direction of the engines. That's really kind of important. That's another thing to take into account. Now, with that being said, let me see your shuttle. Okay. Okay. Move your tanks up. Move the tank up. I'm serious. Take this whole thing, move it up. Have the point of your tank up here and have this bottom piece like right here. I'm serious. And then strut that whole thing together and then tell me what it does. Yeah, I'm serious. Move the whole tank up there. And then, do you have part action windows open, Stubborn? Can you right click on it? And if you right click on a tank, do you see something called flow priority? Because if you do, set this tank to, so set that tank to, how does the fuel priority work? Basically, you want to drain this tank and that tank at the same time, this tank and that tank at the same time, and then drain that one last. Trust me on this one. Also, your decouplers are backwards, telling me that your root part is up here somewhere. So your shuttle is attached to the external tank and not ET attached to shuttle, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I do, but I don't understand how it works. Higher priority number, the faster it's going to drain. So set this to priority 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1 in the center. And then tell me what it does. And then move that tank up. You need the center, this center piece right here needs to be up here somewhere. And then move your boosters and your shuttle down. Move your entire tank up. Boosters and shuttle down, tank up. Do that. See how it flies. It'll look strange, but see how it flies. Yeah, Michelangelo. I always get it wrong in my head for some reason. I'm glad I said it right the first time. I think that graphic pad that Wheatley gave me would up your educator game, which is great already. Das is telestrating a boon to NSF. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, the shuttle is some crazy balancing act, Stubborn. But at the end of the day, it's still a rocket. Rocket has to have center of thrust lined up with center of mass, or else the rocket doesn't work very well. But the entire shuttle is just a rocket that's kind of tilted. It's smart, man. It's very, very smart. It's freaking ingenious, dude. I still can't believe that thing works. It still blows my mind. Anyway, here's another picture from SpaceX. Why do you do this to me, man? What a picture, huh? Will it go boom? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Dude. That's crazy, man. Is this your backyard? I frickin' wish, dude. Dude, guys, if this thing gets off the pad, and now, don't get me wrong, I'm paraphrasing, or basically, not paraphrasing, I'm basically parroting Elon. If this thing gets off the pad, I'm going to be impressed. That's, if it gets up to here, if Super Heavy clears the tower, I will be impressed. That is a success in my opinion, because getting 33 engines to light and stay on, and then separating that whole thing from the pad is not... That's not easy to do. All right, Zay. If it clears the tower in one piece, yeah, Poison, that's kind of implied, but yeah. If it clears the tower in one piece, I'm going to be freaking impressed, man. That's going to be insane. Panics in N1. Like, fellas, think about it. One Raptor engine can drain like an Olympic swimming pool in like a couple minutes. An Olympic swimming pool. We're talking about the Raptor can move, the pumps on Raptor can move that much fluid that you could drain an Olympic swimming pool probably, oh, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes. Maybe more with, I mean, if you have a single Raptor engine, it's probably going to take more. Now think about the siphoning effect that 33 of these are going to have. They will pull that fuel down so ridiculously, fuel and oxidizer, they'll pull that down so ridiculously fast. How do you keep the pressure up in the tanks? I mean, autogenous pressurization is the answer to that question, but if there is even a if the delta P changes in these tanks too far, the tank will literally just from all the Raptor engines turning on at the same time. 33 of them. Unfreaking believable. My ex-wife will drain more, trust me. Damn, son. When's it going up? Don't know. Concerned about the lack of sound suppression? No. Is there a valve between the tanks? A valve between the tanks, Major Who. What do you mean between the tanks? Between the tanks and the engines? Yeah, sure. But the valves are going to be open when they go to fire the engines. If the valves are closed and they go to fire the engines, yeah, it's not going to end well. Did you watch Zach's video on the concrete and water deluge? I haven't, Phil, but I know the gist of it. Where are those pads? Those pads are over there. They'll probably install one, dude.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I can't wait until they light that candle. It's gonna be pretty cool. Hey, Canuck, what's going on? It's gonna be pretty awesome. How many Super Heavy's engines will light properly on launch day? Hi, by the way. On paper, if I'm doing my math out correctly, on paper, they could lose half the engines and Starship will still go up. On paper. With a vehicle this heavy, how much mass did they say it was during the wet dress rehearsal from SpaceX's tweet? They said it was what, 4,000 tons or something? Hold on, let me go over here. I don't think they're gonna catch it on the first try, Maggie, but I'm right there with you. If the first catch attempt is successful, I will blow a gasket. 10 million pounds of propellant. That's 5,000 tons. If we're using metric tons, it's a little bit lesser than that. 4,500 tons. Okay, let's put this into perspective here. It's 10 million pounds. 33 Raptor engines will be producing, I don't know, 15 million pounds of thrust, somewhere in there. That was quick math. That'll give you a 1.5 TWR off the pad. That's absurd. Yeah, 70 to 75 meganewtons of thrust, which is just ridiculous. These numbers are absurd. These numbers are crazy. These numbers are insane. So, if you have a 1.5 TWR, dude, you could lose maybe not half, but you could lose a third of those Raptor engines and it'll still go. I mean, this thing is grossly over-engineered. It's grossly over-engineered, but that's the point. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea behind this thing. It's supposed to be whatever. You want us to put a Tesla semi in space? We could do that. No problem. That's the whole idea. It's supposed to be over-engineered. $100 tons out of the box, Joe. Over-engineering is safety margin. Bingo. I'm surprised they filled it on the first try. I can't, dude. I don't. That is. Yeah, Phil. The freaking thing worked. They had a wet dress rehearsal, and barring that crazy methane leak that that intentional methane purge, I should say, from Super Heavy. Yeah, it was nuts, man. The Starlink will place 56 satellites on orbit. Last time we saw a number that high was in 2021, as they went down to 52, 53, and 54 per launch after 2021. Interesting. Why did they do the methane purge? I don't know, Joe. I can't figure that one out. I was trying to talk to Zach about it, but then twittered on me. Like, I don't understand the use case for venting liquid methane, because that was not gaseous methane. It was they vented it as a liquid and it became gas. Zach was telling me it has to do with their vent line on Super Heavy. The vent line is not at the very tip top of the tank, which that's weird. How do they stabilize the pressure in the tanks when they get drained in flight? It's a good question, Major. That's called tank ullage. So on a vehicle like Falcon 9, they have helium tanks inside of the fuel tanks, and the helium tanks basically open and they pump gas into the tanks. So gas replaces the liquid as it's going down, as it's draining, right? The idea is that your tank pressures stay at flight pressure the entire time. Your delta P should not change on the way up and on the way down in Falcon 9's case. Pressure should stay the same. You just replace liquid with gas, but the pressure could stay the same. That's fine. Now, Starship doesn't have that. Starship doesn't have helium tanks. You know why? There's no helium on Mars. And if there is, it's not easy to get, right? Heck, helium's hard to get on Earth. Fun fact. So they didn't want to go with that, so Starship could be refueled on Mars if you wanted to, or refueled anywhere. So what they decided to do is make it just all liquid methane, all liquid oxygen, right? And the idea, so what happens with this is that you have a full flow stage combustion cycle on the Raptor engine. There are parts of Raptor's design where there is high pressure gaseous oxygen, a high pressure methane before it goes into the engine and gets blown out the bottom. That high pressure gaseous oxygen and high pressure methane are tapped off, and the tap off goes back up into the tank. So the Raptors generate the gas pressure for the tanks. It's called autogenous pressurization. And you know, we were sitting here talking about the space shuttle. Guess where they got that idea from? The shuttle RS-25s use autogenous pressurization. Yeah, they have to. They did that to keep the external tank designed simple, because you toss the external tank. So why would you build the external tank to be more complicated every time if you're going to toss it? No, incorporate that system into the orbiter and have a tap-off system off the 3 RS-25s to repressurize the external tank. SpaceX took that idea to the next level because they're going to places where there's no helium. So they opted for that simpler design when they went and made this. That means that the Starlink launch will be carrying 17 tons of payload. Are you staying up for Starlink? No. I'll probably get up for it, dudes. Does it use it for RCS too? You could, Leop. Yeah, you could use it for RCS, or you could use nitrogen. I think Starship has nitrogen RCS on it right now. It's derived from Falcon 9. In fact, the early Starship prototypes had Falcon 9 RCS on it. I still think they're doing that, but eventually, yeah. Now, that's Starship. Super Heavy, just literally vents tank gas for its RCS. Yeah, it just vents the tank gas. On Super Heavy, Phil, I don't think that's the case on Starship, but I could be wrong. Starship is a combination of tank vents and N2 thrusters. Yeah, okay, there you go. When's Starlink going tomorrow? 4:22 a.m. Yeah, Tim is the one that suggested that, isn't he? And Elon's like, huh. In the first video, yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so Super Heavy, the RCS for Super Heavy is just venting the tanks. A quick psh, psh, from a pneumatic valve to open and close the tank vents to act as an attitude control system, that's not that big of a deal. That's venting just real quick, like that, is such a small, inconsequential pressure change that the change of pressure is not going to affect the vehicle too much. It will affect it in some way, but they should call them dad thrusters. Dad thrusters. Technically, Tim helped design Super Heavy. Sure he did. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep playing with my shuttle. It's still being kind of dumb. I have to figure out how you did that docking port controller and do that. Rods from the Dodds. Dodsters. Shortline, were you here yesterday? Did you see what somebody sent me? Somebody sent to the P.O. box? Is that my green screen? Oh no, that's the pad perimeter. No, I didn't. Lionel GP20, O gauge, GP20 locomotive, painted in the Rock livery. I freaked out. Yeah, I freaked out. Here, and lots of Tim Tams. Yes. So, Electron, a viewer in chat, sent me one of those. You mentioned how you set a control point so that your yaw and roll work correctly. Ah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, use a docking port for your control point. 1980, the year that they died. Yep. Actually, Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railroad. That is a pretty cool logo, though. The Rock. What happened to these guys? They go, ooh. Yeah, that's not as cool as the blue. Cool, T-Man. Yeah, when they died, nobody bought the rights to the name, so a short line recopyrighted it for their name. Cool. I like the white and blue. The white and blue is cool. That's pretty sharp. Ooh, F40PH. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. I still like the blue. Oh, that's cool, man. Oh my gosh, the rails, huh? What's wrong with the rails? Oh. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that was those rails were not good. It hurts to look at, man. It's short lines, dude. Track probably doesn't see a lot of service, dude. They're probably keeping it up. That track probably is up for one train that comes like once a month, dude. There's no point in maintaining the rails like that. I mean, I guess unless it's a matter of pride. If I owned a short line, my rails would be immaculate. I don't give a frick if I lose money. You know, I don't care. The rails would be immaculate. I just alt F4'd those rails. Those rails look like my space station from the other day. Small asteroid predicted to make one of the Earth's closest approaches by a near-Earth object will be recorded on Thursday, January 26th. It will pass within the orbit of geosynchronous satellites. There is no risk of the asteroid impacting Earth. Oh. I don't get why they don't just integrate a tank vent for fueling operations into the autogenous pressurization ports that they put in the top dome. Yeah, Thomas, it's like... Were you here when I started the stream, dude, this afternoon? I was talking about this. I'm like... I was trying to ask Zach what the use case is for not having your tank vent cap right here. Why wouldn't you do that? I was asleep until you were about 2 hours in. So Thomas, check this. I'll show you. We began with this and we'll end with this. I was talking with Zach about this the other day. Here. So Zach replied to me and said, I believe to have drop pressure at the top of the tank before they have to drop pressure at the tank before they could fill it all the way. The vent is below the top of the tank, so there might not be any way of doing this without purging the fluid in the process. From that picture that you link, that's pretty much, yeah, I see it. Right? So I said, that makes sense. You got to get the gas out, right? You think that's just this booster? Curious why that vent would be where it is. What's the use case of putting it on the side? And then the vent is there to vent out gas, but since the tank tapers in at the top, this guy. Yeah. So you saw this. That guy doesn't know what I'm talking about. So Thomas, you think it's isolated to the booster? I think we'll see a top vent in the future. Why would you do that? I mean, especially if you want Starship to fly like once a day, venting that much methane overboard every flight seems like a Booster 9 also doesn't have it. Yes, Squish, I did. I appeared to have the 8632 steam locomotive. Cool, Thomp. Probably in case the best part is no part going a bit too far. Yeah, interesting. See, from a physics standpoint, that makes no sense. So that means there's something on Super Heavy that's driving that design feature. That's really what I was more trying to think about. The only thing I can think of is clearance issues. Clearance issues with what? Got plenty of space in there. Space up top, I guess. Okay, you need more sleep? Alright, Everest. Yeah. It's an interesting thing to think about, dudes. I'm not, like I get it, you know. There might be clearance, but there's a forward skirt. There's a whole forward skirt that has grid fins and stuff in it. You're telling me that the bottom of the Raptor engines that are flying in Starship, a vent would be this big. It would be about, I don't know, 15 centimeters? About a half a foot? You're telling me there's that little clearance in there? I don't know, man. There's enough room to add a vent. It's not an issue. Yeah, dude, I would not put my engines that close to a fuel tank like that. That's I mean, maybe this far, but like, I don't know. I mean, maybe you could put it that close. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. This is not an inner stage. This is a forward skirt. The inner stage is Starship's engine section, right? Like, that's the inner stage right there. Hey, dude, look at it from this angle, man. There's no way. Like, look at where this is. Yeah, dude, there's enough to put a vent all the way at the top. But the cool thing is that that does mean that they did fill this thing up all the way with fuel. Dude, that's crazy. Can you believe that? Manufacturing domes with holes is hard. Yeah, I think that's something that we'll see changed in a future design. Will Starship and Super Heavy separate? Frick, I hope so. Anyway. Alright, dudes. So the gas would leave from inside of the skirt on Starship? No. No, a vent from the tank tow mast connected to a tube that goes out the sides. You don't want to vent into a compartment like that. That's a little sus. Then he could even try to use the GSC to pull that pressure during fill. One of those pressurization pipes is connected to the quick disconnect. Interesting. No, Vacha, that's usually what they do. Think of it like a propane tank. The vent's at the top. That's usually what happens. And that vent on the propane tank is not very big comparatively to the rest of the propane tank, right? Okay, but like, when do we get Starship Heavy? I'm leaving now. So, fellas, I'm probably going to sleep through this Starlink launch. This will be like maybe the 5th or 6th Falcon 9 mission that I've missed, like, ever. But, if I do manage to wake up, I'll be here. However, if I don't see you then, I'll see you guys at noontime. We'll build out a Cygnus and we'll literally finish the station tomorrow. So then we'll work on transfer vehicles for the shuttle. It'll be good. See Stargan ship. Hey, wait, if you can hold off leaving for 5 to 10 minutes. I have something cool that I'm about to be able to share with you. Well, you can just DM me. We'll show it on stream tomorrow. You know that you won't sleep well. Just set the alarm. All right, I will. 10-hour stream is crazy. Hixterio, I stream 10 hours at least every day. And I have been doing that since 2015. You still here? My fault, I don't know, I'm new here. It's all good, man. I thought the reason why I said that the way I said it, dude, because I thought you'd be like, what the frick, I'm leaving, you're weird. You know? I'm serious. I'm serious. I thought, usually when I say that to people, they're like, who are you? Don't even mention the 2020 streams. Oh my god. Yeah, Jardies, there you go. But yeah, man. I like streaming Xtereo. I had a gnarly problem, dude.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, what was it, dudes? We were streaming, I streamed 50 hours a week from basically 2015 to 2020. And then during the pandemic, it went to 70 hours a week. I was doing quarantine streams, Hixt. And we would stream like 16 hours a day. It was nuts. The clearness, yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go, Mutter. The clearance, yep. What was your longest? The longest stream I've ever done is 18 hours, 29 minutes, and 29 seconds. I sat there for 18 hours straight, which is not healthy. That's not good for you. And then I woke up the next day and I felt like I was out of breath. That's what I felt. I felt like I was out of breath. Yeah. I woke up and I was like, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I just did, but whatever I just did was not healthy. So I'm not doing that again. I've never done a 24-hour stream, Mutter, ever. I can't do it. I don't want to, and I don't want to try. Oh yeah, somebody did redeem Garage Stretch Break Poison, but that was like 4 hours ago. That was when I was being salty about channel points. Dude, I've been in a pissy mood all day. It's not anything with the stream. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So, like on top of the 10-hour streams, dudes, like I'm working on stuff in the background and like doing wedding planning and stuff. On top of that, I got a couple of side projects. We got the truck, we got Kerbal, we got to get all this stuff done. Dude, it's starting to tax your boy.
Discovery, go at
That's why I've been kind of in crappy moods lately. It's tough to keep a happy face for that long during the day. Yeah, you're getting a little stressed out. Hope you brought your raincoat. Oh no. Any updates on the landslide behind the garage? Jim, it's gotten worse.
Discovery, go at throttle
It's
up.
gotten worse with all the damn rain and snow. The whole back, like right behind this wall right here, all that dirt is falling off the back, dude. Because the previous owner for the like the garage has like a pathway all the way around it that has gravel on it, and the previous owner decided to put logs underneath the gravel. And all the logs are decomposing, so all the soil is falling off the back of the garage. So that's good. There's also that. Thanks for reminding me of that there's like mini sinkholes behind my garage. And I could be sitting on one right now. That's good. Yeah, there's also that. Just, you know, in case you guys wanted to know why I've been so stressed out lately. Yeah. I had a dream last night where I was down at Starbase for some party or something. You and Das were also there. Cool. Good fella. 11-month resub. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'll show you guys pictures sometime. Nah, help this not really. It's not underneath. I've looked. The logs aren't underneath this part of the foundation. They're on that back path. So the back path is going that way, which sucks. Yeah. Old railway sleepers might work. Railway? No, dude. I need to dig out all the decaying freaking wood and put a retaining wall in and put dirt in there so it's done. So the project is actually done correctly. My whole backyard is just kind of going backwards. Previous owner of my home chose to embed cheap extension cords in the walls and ceiling to carry line extension cords. Okay, yeah, you have it worse than me. You have, yeah, that's worse. That's, okay, you win. You Spartan, you win. You win! That's not good at all. I don't know why the dude would put logs. Why you put logs? The guy built the barn. He built the barn himself, and the barn is amazing. It's amazing. The concrete is perfectly level. He did all of it himself. I know because my neighbors told me. They're like, yeah, he did the whole thing. Why'd you? If you were smart enough to make a nice level concrete foundation and build a steel structure on top of that, what the frick happened over here? I gotta ask. I'm gonna send the guy an email and be like, why did you do this? There's still outlets that just aren't connected. I ripped all that crap out. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. What's that, weather guy? Oh, that's good. I got an airport ID and I feel important and cool now. Just got to waltz into a 737 to ask the pilot something about de-ice. It's great. That's cool, Snackless. That's cool, man. Right now, looking at the weather radar, you're getting slammed. Yeah, it's raining. I can hear it. But anyway. Yeah, so guys, yeah, that's the reason why I've been kind of pissy lately. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you when KSP2 comes out. Dude, I have irons in the fire right now, and if I really wish I could tell you, but it's not something I want to bring up. Dude, you guys will flip if some of this stuff actually happens. You'll be like, how did you do that? And the answer is I have no idea. Just be persistent at what you do, I suppose. Yeah, there are, trust me, it's going to be, if some of this stuff comes through, it's going to come through really quickly, and I'm not going to have time to tell you, it's just going to happen. Okay? So be ready. If something weird happens with stream, don't get me wrong, I'm not going anywhere, you know, like all of a sudden I'm going to be like, hey guys, I did this. And you're going to be like, what? You know? You going to space? No, it's not that. I'm not as cool as Tim Dodd. Sorry. Are you going to see you at the Emmys in a few years? I don't know, man. Maybe. But yeah, there's if the cam starts tilting, yeah, no. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, guys. Some of the stuff I can't talk about. But just, I'll have you know that I'm not like, the only reason I say this isn't to be a tease. I don't like doing it. Usually when there's projects like this, like Spaceport America Cup, I just went and did it. We did it, we went and did it, we had a good time, right? Like, I couldn't talk about it for a little while, but the second I knew it was going to happen, I told you guys about it, and then we just went and did it, right? Like, that was fun. It was a good time. The reason why I bring this stuff up is to kind of explain why I'm like, lately, you know? I'm not trying to be like, guys, I have some awesome stuff planned. I'm not trying to be the tease. I'm just trying to tell you, like, if my temper is a little short and I'm like not reading your chat messages correctly, it's because I got a lot on my mind, man. Well, we got waffled long enough for my thing to be ready. Some sweet and loud NROL 91 footage. Oh, very nice. That's very nice. Very nice. EJ, thinking more about Destin's video, toward the end, Luke mentions for each part there needs to be a redundant part and another part. It means more weight, more checks, more reliability issues. Why they don't add something, you have to ask. Does it provide enough value adding it that not having it? So you're saying, King, why don't they make it simpler? Because if you don't make it fault redundant, right, you have a simpler system that's easier to use? Yeah, dude, Luke was talking about the instrumentation unit in Destin's video, if I'm understanding you right. He was talking about the Saturn V IMU. There needed to be double redundant components there for the IMU, right? That doesn't mean, for instance, that you need 2 liquid oxygen tanks in one stage. You know what I mean? It depends on the component, man. Will you stream the wedding? No. No, I'm good. Yeah, Copybearer, that's right. That's why I don't like telling people stuff that I'm working on in the background. And we also got to get the truck finished. And it's just like, that's one of the projects you guys do know about. I got all the wrenches that I need to take the suspension apart, by the way. I don't think I told you guys that. I did not have the wrenches to take apart the leaf springs in the back. Whoops. I went and bought them, though. Can I get an invite? No, I don't like you. No Yankees fans allowed. In before the OFT is on the day of the wedding. Probably. Carries to all things. Adding a venting port at the top. That's another component to fail. Yeah, King, but me saying adding a venting port to the top of Starship, implies that they're going to take the ones that are on the sides off. So you take the side vent off and you put the vent off at the top, up at the top, not have two vents that are redundant systems. I don't know if I explained that well enough. You're buying an El Camino? Careful what you wish for. After all this time putting a ring on it, congratulations. Spartan, yeah, Spartan. She's pretty cool, man. She's pretty cool. She lets me sit here and talk to you guys for 10 hours a day. Anybody that has a significant other knows what kind of ask that is. Anybody here have a significant other being gone for 10 hours a day? I don't know why I don't know how Brimo hasn't just punched me in the face yet. But she's cool with it, and I still don't get it. I still don't get it. I don't understand. I straight up, like, I'm like, I'm gonna go stream. I'll be back in 10 hours. Okay, I'll see you then. But you're fine with this? Yeah. I'm like, are you actually fine with this? Yeah. I'm like, no. This is not a, it's fine scenario, right? It's not that, right? Like, right? She's like, yeah, it's good. It's okay. I'll see you on the weekend. I'm like, I love you. She likes the peace and quiet. That, you know what, Mutter? That's probably true. It's probably true. You're buying a jet. No. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. All right. Yeah, there you go. Right, Uncle X? Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. But yeah, anyway, guys, sorry for being short with you guys. You guys don't deserve that. You're here supporting me, and I appreciate it. I've been kind of a jerk lately, and I don't like it. But yeah, stress is kind of getting to me, dude. It's kind of getting to me. You don't know how much needs to freaking. How much stress needs to be there to start wearing me down. It's a lot. I could usually take a lot. But oh. I did miss the first part of this person asking a question about the CO2 vent. Yeah, I got you. Just wait for it to stop. King, there's no CO2 tanks on Starship. There's CH4 and then there's O2. But anyway, let's see who we can raid, dudes. Anyway, Vulcan, great footage. Great footage, L91. That's really cool. Yeah, there's really nobody out and about. I'm going to miss Delta 4 when she's gone. It's just a shame that RS-68s are going to go the way of the Dodo. That really pisses me off, Vulcan. It's just a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Anyway, all right, yeah. There's not many people around, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll try to set the alarm for the Starlink launch, but if I don't see you, then I'll see you at noon. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Sorry for being such a douche lately. My bad. I'll try to be, not try. I will be better about it. Screw trying. Trying is for people that aren't sure that they're gonna win. You're best. Losers go home and whine about their best. Winners go home and get the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen.